So today I'm going to talk about cockpit problems. And what I mean by that is on all your gear, before you go out, if all else fails, read the manual. And I didn't do that when I started out on the Colorado Trail. So seldom do I carry a water filter. I don't want to say never, because like on the Colorado Trail, I knew I was going to be in cow country and sheep country in certain sections. And I thought, instead of getting sick, I should carry a filter. Even though I've been drinking wild water for 60 years, I've never had a problem. I took a Be-Free, which I also used on the Arizona Trail. So in the last 6 months, I've hiked across Arizona, I've hiked across Colorado, and probably have used a filter less than a half dozen times. But it's so light now. I mean, it used to be you had these pumps and you had hoses, and I thought, I'm not doing that stuff. And now this Be-Free, weighs ounces. And I was really impressed with it when I used it in the Southwest this winter. And I bought a little hydration hydro pack bottle that collapses. That just replaced my Platy, and so when I want to carry an extra liter of water, I have this to do that with. And so basically it's that little item right there is all I'm carrying is for extra weight, and it's insurance. But on the Colorado Trail, first night out, I'd stored this since the Arizona Trail, so I was off the trail for like a month and maybe two. And, I'd used it on the North Country Trail during that time, but it dried out. I thought that's how I stored it. Just keep it dry, rinse it out. And I always did what the manual said. When I finish filtering water, I take some more and I shake the heck out of this that supposedly gets, all the crud out of this filter here. And then when I come home, I swish it under the tap, and supposedly that washes any debris out of that filter. So I thought I was doing it right. But again, first out of the starting gate on the Colorado Trail, this thing wouldn't pump any water. I mean, it was so slow. I thought, I'm not going to sit here for a half hour to get a liter of water. And so I did the first 103 miles into Frisco, went to Walmart and bought this Sawyer. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a Be-Free, you shouldn't buy a Sawyer, do your own, hike your own hike. But I didn't like this at all. It screws on the top of a water bottle, so I use wide mouth water bottles. So I had to buy 2 more water bottles that this would screw on. And it was pretty slow compared to what this was when it was new. So I just wasn't impressed. I just threw them both in the bottom of my pack, and I was just careful in cow country where I drank water. But I still want this as an option, and so when I got home, I went on Be-Free's website, and they had a couple of things that maybe was in the manual when I bought this, but I don't think so. But it made sense to me because my wife and I travel in our motorhome pretty much year-round all over North America, and we drink all kinds of different water, and a lot of it's mineralized, so all my plumbing fixtures, I'm always having to clean them, just get the calcium and mineral deposits off of them so they function properly. And the way I do that is just with white distilled vinegar. I let it, plumbing parts soak in that, and they just rinse right away, and they're like brand new. And so that's what Be-Free was suggesting. So I did. I made a mixture, 1 part vinegar, 2 parts water, put it in a cup. And, they said to let it sit in there for a half hour. I let it sit in there all night. And the other thing I learned was maybe when I'm storing it for a long time, I should put distilled water through it, like a whole liter of distilled water through it, maybe with a couple of drops of bleach, just household bleach in it. But I don't, I'm hiking all the time, so I usually don't have it for a long time storage. That's not something I would need to do. But if you are going to do that, you might want to read their site and decide if you want to do that or not. But I think maybe the secret is putting non-mineralized water through this thing. But, so I soaked it overnight. And again, since I've been home from the Colorado trip, I hadn't done anything to this thing. Just soaking it overnight, all of a sudden I've got a brand new filter again. I mean, it's just coming out the way it should come out. And, again, if I couldn't get this kind of flow out of this thing all the time, I would not carry it. But again, for the weight, when I want to filter water, this is quick. I've got an extra container for water when I need it. If I want to carry 3 liters, which in the Southwest I often do, especially if I'm hiking in an area I'm not familiar with and I don't know where to find springs or what the water source's reliability is. So again, easy to care for, but just read the manual. And when you store this thing, do it properly or you'll have problems and you'll think it's just the filter's problem, and it's cockpit problems. Keep smiling. I met this couple in downtown Durango when I finished the Colorado trail. They had just come off the trail and they hadn't been filtering water.